I just want to say 2020's been a really weird year, and this is a fight that's potentially, and it's listed as a main card fight at light heavyweight between slow Mike Rodriguez taking on Marcin Prachnio. And Matt, it's a weird one. I mean, Marcin Prachnio went on an 8-fight unbeaten streak, came into the UFC, big wins in one championship, and he fought Sam Alvey, and he fought him like he had never fought a fight in his life. And I'm going to let you kind of take it from there. I just will say, after that loss to Sam Alvey, he comes back and, oh boy, he fought Magomed Ankalaev and get knocked out in the first round of that one. We haven't seen him in about 2 years.
Yeah, and that Sam Alvey fight, it might have been some of the worst fight IQ I've just ever seen in my whole life, because Prachnio goes in for not really a takedown, but kind of, and Sam Alvey defends it with a guillotine, and Prachnio just kind of falls to his back, very happy to give up top position, which is very odd anyways. And then when they get back up to the feet, he just keeps on marching forward towards Sam Alvey, kind of showing, not really even kind of, just showing no respect for any of his power. And Sam Alvey's not Francis Ngannou. He's not but he's still Sam Alvey. You have to respect him. And he landed a really nice check hook on Prachnio. He goes down, gets up, and he decided the best course of action would just be to walk directly forward without his hands up. Like cage fighters do. And Sam Alvey laid him out with another shot. And it was pretty sad, but kind of funny. Now,
it's hard not to laugh. But again, I mean, Prachnio, he got rocked, so he gets back up. And he's still in the fight. So he zombied forward with his arms down like he was sleepwalking and got finished.
Yeah, it was bad. And it just, this fight, the fact that it's on a main card is kind of surprising. And it's nothing against Mike Rodriguez either. It's just, this isn't the best that the UFC has to offer. And normally, at least for main card's sake, that's what they try to put out.
And it's weird because Prachnio, he's giving up an inch of height, but a lot in terms of reach. I mean, you see that 82.5 inches for Rodriguez, 74 for Prachnio. And you see that out of Mike Rodriguez. He's a really unorthodox type of striker. He came into the UFC, big win on Dana White's Contender Series, jump knee, flying knee knockout. That looked amazing. But so far, his UFC run's been relatively lackluster. I mean, truthfully, he'd be 1-3 if his loss to John Allen wasn't overturned to a no contest. So the two losses, if you look at it, Devin Clark in his debut, and then he got knocked out by Da Un Jung in his last fight, which was overseas. And it hasn't been good for Rodriguez. The other thing that kind of makes me feel weird about this one, and I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. You can say fights aren't 50-50. You've got Prachnio, who's been knocked out twice, but won 8 fights before that. Wasn't in the UFC, so you can discount it as much as you want. And the fight for me that's really weird, the fight that he won against Gilberto Galvão to get into the UFC, he looked like he got dropped to start it. Galvão looked like the Brazilian Hector Lombard. He was old. He was beefy. It was one championship. And, I mean, Prachnio gets the win by finish, and he gets the shot. But we haven't seen him. His Instagram's noticeably silent since actually 2019, so he did a little bit more posting, but not much. For Mike Rodriguez, you kind of know what you're going to get. A guy out of Massachusetts, a guy that's trained at a Lozon's in the past.
Just a guy from Massachusetts.
Mike Rodriguez, unorthodox, really long, a guy that's been finished, but typically tough to finish, and he's fought good competition over his career. Now, where I'd say that it gets weird, Mike Rodriguez opened as a -170 favorite, currently sitting at a -230. Prachnio, +145. He's now at a +185. If you look over on Tapology at 258 votes, the majority, 75% going with Rodriguez, 78% predicting to win by knockout. I don't expect Marcin Prachnio to come in, hands down by his feet, looking like he's out for a nice stretch on a Sunday morning before he's mowing the lawn. But at the same time, this is one of those ones I'd want to stay away from. If you're a big Prachnio fan, you know that he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. You know that he's, or blue belt rather. He's a black belt in karate, so he's got that in his back pocket. And again, Rodriguez, well-rounded. What do you make of this one?
So I'm definitely picking Mike Rodriguez in this fight. But like you had mentioned, I wouldn't put any money on this fight, mainly because it's not like Mike Rodriguez is such a sure thing that it's safe to really spend any kind of money for there to be value on him being a -200. But he definitely has all the tools to be able to beat a guy like Prachnio. So it should be maybe even a bit of a showcase fight for Rodriguez if he is able to tee off on him, especially early on. But this is, you're fighting for your contract at this point. That goes for both these guys.
I mean, I'm going to agree. I'm going to take Mike Rodriguez, and I hate to make the comparison, but we're talking similar enough weight classes, 85 to 205. For me, Marcin Prachnio is kind of like another Polish import that we were looking forward to. Former Cage Warriors champion Oscar Piata came in with a lot of hype, definitely didn't deliver. So I hate to make the comparison. I'm going to go with Mike Rodriguez, probably the least confident pick on the card. You're going Rodriguez. Really looking forward to this card, though, because there's a lot of weird matchups and a funky, fresh main event that we're going to take an extended look at between Pedro Munhoz and Frankie Edgar. So keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt. And as we always say, let's get into it.